Anji, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Good
गौरव.
morning.
सॉरी यार, मैं थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया क्योंकि मेरा लैपटॉप जो था ऑटोमेटिक अपडेट पे चला गया था. ठीक है.
ठीक है सर, तो मैंने आपको होस्ट बना दिया है, आप कंटिन्यू कर सकते हो. और गाइस, वेलकम टू नेटवर्किंग. गुड मॉर्निंग.
Good morning.
वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद दिस चेक पॉइंट CCSA एंड CCSE. तो इनिशियली हम CCSA से स्टार्ट करेंगे. तो विकास सर, यू कैन कंटिन्यू.
तो गौरव, ये भी अपना कंबाइंड बैच है, राइट? तो मैं उस हिसाब से फिर
हाँ जी
कंटिन्यू
सर, ये कंबाइंड बैच है सर, CCSA CCSE दोनों.
ठीक है, परफेक्ट.
So if you don't mind, can you guys please talk in English? So I don't know Hindi. So even if you people communicate something in Hindi, I
Sure,
can't
sure,
understand.
sure, Dhanlakshmi, not an issue. We'll try to mix and match, okay?
Yeah, okay, fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Just confirm me once you guys can see my screen, okay? It's visible, right?
Yeah.
It's visible.
Okay, perfect. Just give me 1 moment, huh?
Okay, sure.
All right. How many people we have here? 5. So welcome all of you in Network Kings. Okay, we are starting CCSA plus CCSE batch today. All right. Today we are having first class, so we'll try to mug up some basic concepts of checkpoint, the history of checkpoint, the packet flow of checkpoint, and slowly and gradually we'll try to achieve that level where we can see ourselves as a master of checkpoint. Okay, so if you guys are new in checkpoint, like if this might be your first firewall section or maybe first firewall you guys are learning, so it's a very easy firewall. Okay, बहुत ही ज़्यादा simple है, easy to understand है, and concepts are like you can relate the concepts with your real life, with your real scenario. Okay.
Okay.
Throughout the journey, we'll follow one single approach, which will be first, we'll try to cover up our theory part, अच्छी तरीके से, like 100% theory, and then we'll try to cover our lab part for that particular topic. ठीक है, हम ऐसा नहीं करेंगे कि पहले थ्योरी पढ़ते चले गए फिर लैब पढ़ते चले गए, नहीं. One topic will complete the theory, then we'll go to the lab and we'll complete that topic 100%. Okay, in every direction we have to complete that particular topic. All right.
And how much time it will take to cover up all entire course?
30 to 35 hours for
Okay.
CCSA. Okay, one moment यार, क्या चल क्यों नहीं रहा है? 35 hours for CCSA and plus approximately 30 hours for CCSE. ठीक है.
Okay.
All right. So today is lecture 1. ठीक है. चेक पॉइंट की बात अगर हम बात करें तो ये कुछ इस तरीके का हार्डवेयर होता है, ठीक है। तो when you'll go to the industry, you'll get this sort of box connected in your rack, and you have to work on this particular checkpoint box. And if I talk about this port section, अच्छा मतलब कोई ऐसा तो नहीं जिसको इंग्लिश में थोड़ा बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो या कुछ ऐसा, क्योंकि कोशिश करेंगे कि हम हिंदी
No,
और
it's okay.
मिक्स करें. We have 8 people. Can I get the confirmation from everyone? I think all are on mute. No worries. So this is the box of checkpoint. Okay, this is 4700 box, right? And मैंने ये Google से image pick की है basically. This is the console port. All right. These two are USB port. These are navigation buttons on the box, and these are Ethernet ports. Okay. So there you will connect your LAN, WAN, switches, and everything. Here
Or we can collect our uplink as well here.
Yeah. On any port, not an issue. Any ISP, any port, you can connect over here. Okay. And console, जब आपको device से console लेना है, like you want to configure the device from the basic or maybe from the scratch, you can take the console from here, right? And most important thing, remember always, your checkpoint. कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम आ रही है इसमें, क्या है? जब भी आप चेक पॉइंट को नेटवर्क में कनेक्ट करेंगे, राइट, सो यू हैव टू कनेक्ट द मैनेजमेंट पीसी ऑन ईथरनेट 0.
Okay.
Okay.
Always on Ethernet 0.
Yes, your management PC, not the all the other PCs. I'm talking about the management PC. Now you might be confused that what is this management PC? Okay. We'll talk about this in a bit. All right. घबराने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, हम अभी बात करेंगे. बस इतना याद रखो, whenever you configure your checkpoint box, you have to connect your management PC with Ethernet 0, and you have to configure that box with Ethernet 0. All right. ये कुछ LEDs हैं यार, जो कि मे बी throughout the time, अभी तो ये काफी पुराना इमेज है, so ये मे बी they might have changed. Okay. All right. This is basic introduction of myself. All right. My name is Vikas. Vikas Pathak. I'm working as a network security engineer from 8+ years. Okay. ये 4.5 नहीं, ये 5+ years का experience हो चुका है मेरे पास. Teaching का, industrial training as well as individual training, जो अभी जैसे network kings पे हम दे रहे हैं. So now I'm going to bundle all my experience and I'll share with you guys, okay, in this course, how I'll be teaching you. See, in this course, basically you have to take a notebook, okay, a notebook of 100 pages.
Okay.
And you have to divide that 100 pages into 2 sections. First section will contain 70 pages. Another section will contain 30 pages, okay, of the notebook. All right. So why this sort of division we are doing? In this 70% section, you will make notes. Okay. In this 70% section, you will create your notes. whatever we are learning in the class, after the class, you have to give your 1 hour or maybe 1.5 hour, and you have to make the notes. Notes are very important. Okay. Although I'll give some sort of documents to you guys to read, to understand, but notes are like very, very, very important. All right. And what about this 30% section? You have to maintain it as questionnaire. All right. जैसे मान के चलो हमने टॉपिक पढ़ा, ठीक है. Let's say we have covered cluster. ठीक है, cluster बोले तो failover, right?
Okay, they call it failover.
हाँ, आप सब लोग networking background से हैं, right? You guys are
Yes.
from networking background, right? So you
Yes,
must have
yes.
heard about this cluster or maybe failover. So let's
Failover.
say, yeah, let's say we have covered this topic cluster or maybe failover. I will tell you guys some questions, some important question which interviewer might ask to you while giving the interview, okay, regarding the cluster or regarding the failover. So when you complete your notes over here in the 70% section, you have to go in the 30% section, the another section of the notebook, and you have to write down these questions over there. Why I'm asking you to do that? Because after a certain period of time, when you prepare for your interview, these questions will help you to cover the topics very efficiently. And whatever preparation you are doing, it will allow you to complete your preparation in 30 to 50 minutes. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
All right. So again, the same question which I have asked in the last session. I'm not sure whether you guys have attended that session or not. Who are you? Like, who are you people who should learn checkpoint? Question number 1. Are you working in an environment where checkpoint is being used? क्या आप किसी environment में हैं जहां पे checkpoint use हो रही है, ठीक है, या फिर लगी हुई है, या फिर do you think in future you will be dealing with checkpoint? क्या आपको लगता है कि फ्यूचर में आप checkpoint से डील करने वाले हैं, right? या do you want to enhance your career in the firewall field? अगर इन तीनों ही क्वेश्चन में से किसी भी क्वेश्चन का आंसर यस है, so you are at the right place. Reason? Because जितनी भी हमारे पास firewalls है ना इंडस्ट्री में, whether it's a Palo Alto, whether it's a Sonic Wall, whether it's a Cisco Firepower, checkpoint is the easiest and easy to understand, understandable firewall. So if you understand how the checkpoint works, you'll be able to understand slowly and gradually how the other firewall works. All right. तो अगर किसी को करियर स्टार्ट करना है फायरवॉल सिक्योरिटी में, तो चेकपॉइंट इज द बेस्ट फायरवॉल टू स्टार्ट विद. ठीक है. कुछ इस तरीके के टॉपिक्स हैं अपने जो हम थ्रू आउट द CCSA एंड CCSE में कवर करेंगे. ठीक है. CCSA में हम इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है. विल ट्राई टू कवर ऑल द टॉपिक्स like in a very short and crisp manner in CCSA, whereas when we go to CCSE, we'll try to अच्छा recording on है ना?
Yes.
ठीक है. So we'll when we cover CCSE, we try to cover in-depth topics like demons के बारे में हम पढ़ेंगे. राइट. डीमंस क्या होते हैं, बैकअप्स कैसे लिए जाते हैं, कितने तरीके के बैकअप्स होते हैं बेसिकली वहां पे, ठीक है। और बहुत सारी चीजें वहां पे, जैसे HA की बात करिए, हम क्लस्टर की बात करिए, ट्रबल शूटिंग क्लस्टर की हम वहां पे CCSE में पढ़ेंगे, right? VPN troubleshooting will cover that topic in CCSE, but we'll try to cover this VPN part in CCSA also, right? So these are the topics basically.
So this is a mix with the CCSA and CCSE both topic, or just...
These are like consisting both the topics actually.
Okay.
Right. इसमें basically like most of the topics will be covered in CCSA only, right? Like I try to cover all the topics which are mentioned over here in CCSA only, but when it comes to CCSA and CCSE, like in CCSA, this checkpoint firewall backup, I'll be teaching you how to take the backup, okay? But in-depth backup, like what sort of backups are there in checkpoint, when we take it, how we take it, that thing will cover in CCSE. Okay. So this is the scenario for the topics part. All right. The things you need, you guys are, I'm not sure, like maybe some of you are working, maybe some of you are still learning, studying, maybe, okay, maybe some of you are still a student in the college or maybe somewhere. So what is the expectation from your side when you are going to join this course basically? Okay, the first thing, you should be having the knowledge of CCNA or more. CCNA or more, what does that mean? That when you are coming for a firewall class, you should know that what is the meaning of subnetting, what is IP address, right? You should know basic concept, you should know routing, you should know switching. What is a switch? You should know. What is a router? You should know, right? So these things you should be able to understand, post which you'll be able to understand this firewall. Because when we'll like create the when we'll create the when we'll create the topology, we'll simply say that this is my firewall.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
We'll talk like that in the class, like, right? This is my firewall. After that, we have a switch connected here.
Right.
We have a router connected here. So you should know that what is a router, what is a switch, what is the functionality of router, what is the functionality of switch, right? I'll say that I have given the IP address class C, right? Class C IP address on this port, class B IP address on this port. You should know what is the classes of IP addresses. So at least CCNA or maybe more knowledge you should have, and a basic understanding of virtual environment. Okay, now what is virtual environment? See, it's required if you want to perform your own lab on your own PC, right? जब आपको अपने खुद के लैपटॉप पे, अपने कंप्यूटर पे अगर लैब परफॉर्म करनी है, तो यू हैव टू नो अबाउट दिस वर्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट. Otherwise, if you have purchased the lab section of networking, so no need to know about this basically, right? And वहां पे आपको लैब मिल जाएगी, you can practice over there. क्लियर है इतना?
जी.
If you are building your own lab on your own particular laptop or PC, in that case you need मतलब कोई भी जितने भी virtual environment है, maybe VMware, right? और maybe vSphere, जो भी सॉफ्टवेयर हैं, इनकी थोड़ी सी अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि आप अपनी लैब बनाएंगे कैसे, ठीक है? आपको YouTube पे भी इजीली मिल जाएगी इसके बारे में, ठीक है? अगर आप सोचेंगे कि VMware पे लैब कैसे बनाए, तो वो बता देंगे आपको 2 मिनट में ना. एंड अगर चेक पॉइंट की बात करें, तो चेक पॉइंट का सॉफ्टवेयर ISO फाइल आपको चाहिए होगी, जो आप इंटीग्रेट करेंगे अपने वर्चुअल VM पे. वन मोमेंट यार, ये मेरी पीपीटी बंद हो गई। अभी दिख रही है?
Yes.
तो ISO फाइल भी आपको चाहिए होगी, जो ISO फाइल आप अपने VMware के साथ इंटीग्रेट करेंगे एंड देन यू विल क्रिएट द लैब. Okay, but if you are purchasing the lab from the networking, you don't have to worry any of these things. All right, now the important part. Everybody knows this, that firewall. Okay, tell me one thing. Firewall works on which layer? Tell me. OS of the OSI model. OSI model सबको पता है ना?
Yes.
किसी को नहीं पता है? Tell me guys. I'll explain in next 5 minutes. Everybody understand what is OSI model, right?
Yes.
Okay. So मुझे ये बताओ कि फायरवॉल की अगर हम जब बात करते हैं तो किस लेयर पर, on which particular layer firewall works? Any idea?
Network layer. Network layer.
Network layer. What is the layer number?
4, I think.
4.
Is it 3?
3, it should be 3, right? 4
3
should be
or 4.
transport.
4 would be a transport.
Yeah, 4 should be transport. Network is not 4. Okay. And
Yes.
do you guys know about routers?
Yes.
Routers के बारे में पता है?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
On which layer router works?
Layer 3.
Layer 3.
Layer 3.
Okay. आपको पता है on firewall we create ACLs, access control list. ACL पता है आपको क्या होता है?
जी sir.
Yes, sir.
And do you know that on routers also we create ACLs?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Then my question is, what is the difference between this device and this device?
I believe firewall does the inspection and router doesn't do the inspection of the traffic.
Which inspection? Are you talking about HTTP inspection or something?
Yes, I'm talking about HTTP inspection and ICMP inspection.
That's not a L3 feature, bro.
I just said that.
No, you're fine that firewall does that thing. Definitely, you are 100% correct. But we are talking about L3 feature sets here. ठीक है, मतलब अपने दिमाग को ना बिल्कुल ना खुला रख के सोचो और कोशिश करो कि हम लोग ACL राउटर पे भी बना रहे हैं, हम लोग ACL फायरवॉल भी बना रहे हैं, फायरवॉल भी L3 डिवाइस है, राउटर भी L3 डिवाइस है, तो क्यों हम फायरवॉल को खरीद के लाए? क्योंकि राउटर तो इन एनी केस हमें रखना ही पड़ेगा अपने नेटवर्क में, राइट?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, अगर हमें नेटवर्किंग कंप्लीट करनी है अपनी, अगर हमें नेटवर्क बिल्ड करना है, तो वी हैव टू परचेज राउटर इन एनी केस टू बिल्ड आवर नेटवर्क, राइट? Then why we are spending so much money on again on the firewall, whereas we can create the ACLs on our router?
Secure our network.
राउटर पैकेट राउटिंग के लिए हमने एक
Router will not.
एक्चुअली अगर उसपे हम लोग इतना सारा एक्सेस बनाएंगे तो फिर वो इतना उसको ज्यादा लोड पड़ेगा.
Exactly. The first point is router is not designed for packet filtering.
Right.
यार ये कुछ ना फ्लिकर है इसमें, राइट? लेट मी ट्राई विद द नोटपैड. नॉट नोटपैड यार, सॉरी. यहाँ ठीक है. Routers are not designed for packet filtering. First thing. Okay,
We are
sorry,
not
sorry,
able
sorry,
to
sorry.
see screen.
Yeah, sorry. I'm really sorry यार. एक काम करता हूँ, मैं पूरी स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ. Yeah. Now you can see, right?
Yep.
So routers are not designed for packet filtering. ठीक है, first thing. Second, if you will ask a router to do packet filtering, it will perform it. But it might differ from its actual working. ठीक है, कि अगर आप उसको बोलते हो कि भैया तू पैकेट फिल्टर करेगा, तो वो पैकेट फिल्टर तो करेगा, no doubt. It will create, if you'll create the ACL on the router, it will perform the packet filtering on the basis of ACLs, right? But वो routing जो उसका actual work है, वो routing से differ कर जाएगा. ठीक है, हाँ जी, ये 2 पॉइंट समझ में आए या नहीं आए?
जी समझ में आया सर.
यस सर.
अगर ये 2 चीज समझ में आए तो अब चलते हैं अपने पीपीटी पे. व्हाट वी वर सेइंग हियर, जो पहला पॉइंट है वो कहता है enhanced technology to protect our network from unwanted viruses and malware. ठीक है, कि ये जो फायरवॉल है ये पहली बात तो enhanced टेक्नोलॉजी है. ठीक है, जो प्रोटेक्ट करेगी हमारे नेटवर्क को कहां से? अनवांटेड वायरसेस एंड मालवेयर से. अब जब हम ये वाली स्टेटमेंट बोलते हैं ना, देन द लेयर 7 कॉन्सेप्ट्स विल कम इनटू द पिक्चर. अब वायरस और मालवेयर की बात हम कर रहे हैं तो कैसे प्रोटेक्ट होगा? कि एचटीटीपी इंस्पेक्शन होगी. ठीक है, एसएसएल ऑफलोडिंग हो जाएगी. अब मे बी ये सारे टर्म्स आपको फैमिलियर ना हो, बट आफ्टर दिस like CCSA class, not class, after this course you'll be master in these technologies. ठीक है, अब अगला पॉइंट कहता है a technology through which we can provide advanced security in our organization. क्यों? क्योंकि कहता भैया ये जो फायरवॉल है ना, मतलब अब तो हम चेक पॉइंट पढ़ रहे हैं, देन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट NGFW, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन फायरवॉल. ओके, तो ये नेक्स्ट जनरेशन फायरवॉल की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में ये पॉइंट है कि a technology through which we can provide advanced security in our organization. कि हमें क्या करना है? फायरवॉल लगानी है. फायरवॉल के साथ साथ हम ACL तो कर ही सकते हैं, नॉर्मल अलाउड नहीं कर सकते हैं, साथ में नेटिंग तो कर ही सकते हैं, राइट? साथ में हम क्या कर सकते हैं? रिमोट एक्सेस VPN, IPsec VPN. रिमोट VPN के लिए हम LDAP, राइट? plus HTTP S inspection, wildfire. अब wildfire क्या होता है? We'll discuss. Okay? ये सारी चीजें हम परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं, ये सब एडिशनल है, ये आपको L3 फायरवॉल में नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है? So what is a firewall? अगर ये क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछे तो I think you guys can answer this question very easily right now. After this, right?
Yes.
And believe me, if you'll go for level 1 interview of security, the chances are 60% that interviewer will ask this question and he will start the discussion from this question. It is a 60% chances. Even when I go to take the interviews for different firms, I generally ask this question from an L1 engineer who is coming from for L1 profile of the firewall security. All right. So understand these points very efficiently so that you guys will be able to answer this question.
Yes.
Okay. Next, but not the least. In fact, not the last even. Why checkpoint? Right? We are learning. We decided to learn firewall, right? We thought, let's go and let's try to learn a new technology, and you decided to learn firewall security. Then why checkpoint only? Why not any other vendor? There are 2 points for that. Okay. First point is that checkpoint exists in the leader's dashboard of the Gartner report. This is the company name, Gartner Inc. What it does, it basically does the audit of all the technologies, and on the basis of their performance, their visions, and their respective working, they divide the companies in 4 sections. Okay, these are the 4 sections. First one is challengers, second one is the niche players, third one is the visionaries, and the fourth one is the leaders. So checkpoint exists in the leaders section. So first thing is, it's not the technology you are learning, it's very small technology, it's not. It's a very good technology. It exists in the leader section. If you know how the checkpoint works, you are already 50 times above the normal person who does not know the checkpoint or the next generation firewall. If someone has worked with ASA and you know what is checkpoint and how does it work, you are way ahead from that person. If there will be any opening in a company, a person is coming who is having experience on Cisco ASA, and one person is coming who is having the experience on next generation firewall, obviously the priority will be given to the person who knows the next generation firewall, right? And ASA is not a next generation firewall, it's a L3 firewall. Now Cisco has come up with a product named FTD, Firepower Threat Defense System, जिसकी वजह से they might enter in this leader section from the challengers. So वो तो future की बात है, we cannot say anything as of now. But if we talk about the checkpoint, it's a very good technology, right? And उससे जो next, ये तो first point हो गया. जो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट था, जो पॉइंट नंबर 2 था, वो हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर लिया है कि बिकॉज इट्स वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड वी कैन रिलेट इट इजीली ऑन द नेटवर्किंग सेटअप, सो इट्स गुड टू गो विद चेक पॉइंट. ऑलराइट, अब बात करते हैं व्हाट इज द सर्टिफिकेशन पाथ ऑफ चेक पॉइंट. ऑलराइट, अब आप लोग चेक पॉइंट पढ़ने आ रहे हो तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है सर्टिफिकेशन की भी एक वैल्यू होती है, राइट? एंड इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी, वी हैव वेरी ह्यूज वैल्यू in the market if you are certified engineer. Okay, if you are a certified engineer, believe me, if you are a checkpoint certified engineer, if you are a Palo Alto certified engineer, you will be given value in the organization. These certifications sets a bar in the people's mind that yes, this person is capable to handle this technology. तो सबसे पहला जो सर्टिफिकेशन आता है और जो हम कवर भी कर रहे हैं, that is called CCSA. Okay, Checkpoint Certified Security Administrator. Post which another CCSE will be coming, जो हम CCSA के बाद कवर करेंगे, right? And after this, the third point, the third step will come as VSX या MDS. ये थोड़े से हाई लेवल के सर्टिफिकेशंस होते हैं जो कि चेक पॉइंट आर्किटेक्ट्स वगैरह के लिए बहुत हेल्पफुल होते हैं, ये MDS और VSX. बट अगर आपने CCSC कर लिया है एंड CCSC के बाद 6 महीने, साल भर या 2-3 साल का एक्सपीरियंस ले लिया है, so you are good to go with this certification. It's not a big problem. थोड़ी सी अंडरस्टैंडिंग मैं इसकी भी दे ही दूंगा आपको इस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स में, ठीक है? ओके, ओके. सो देखो, कोई भी चीज अगर हम पढ़ते हैं ना, तो मेरी ये रिकमेंडेशन होती है कि उसको ना बिल्कुल जड़ से उठाओ. You should pick that technology from the basics of it. Okay, so history, अगर मैं चेक पॉइंट की बात करूं तो कुछ काफी बड़ी हिस्ट्री नहीं है, right? It's a very small history of the checkpoint. I would say only 3 steps are there that they have upgraded themselves. The first time when checkpoint has come up with a product, we are talking about the firmware. Okay, we are not talking about the hardware here. ठीक है, हम firmware की बात कर रहे हैं. तो when initially checkpoint has come up with the product, they have named that product basically. They have named that product called IPSO. क्या बोलते थे उसको? IPSO. अब IPSO के बारे में अगर हम आज बात करें तो आज बस इतना ही समझ लो कि बहुत ओल्ड टेक्नोलॉजी है, लाइक विंडोज 95. अब 95 किसी ने यूज किया है? विंडोज 95? Does anybody has used Windows 95 ever in back 2004 or 5 maybe?
Yes, sir.
It was a very basic Windows as compared to today's Windows, right? बहुत बड़े-बड़े icons हुआ करते थे, very easy to navigate हुआ करता था, right?
Yes,
Easily हम click का icon बहुत simplistic सा view हुआ करता था, GUI बहुत simple सा GUI हुआ करता था, right? So कुछ इस तरीके से ही IPSO भी था, बट उस टाइम पे IPSO को जो बनाया था, जो डेवलप किया था, वो चेकपॉइंट ने नहीं किया था, वो नोकिया ने किया था. तो जो चेकपॉइंट प्रोडक्ट है ना, चेकपॉइंट, इट्स अ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ नोकिया इनिशियली. Right, somebody is talking on cell phone, I believe.
Sir, good morning. This is 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐠𝐬. I just joined. Hope I
Hey,
didn't
Raju.
miss much. Hi.
Raju, like obviously if you are joining late, you will miss a lot
Something.
of things. Yeah, not something, a lot of things.
Yeah, I just got the link. Today is the first class. Okay, anyway, I will go through the recording anyway that you're going to share, right?
Yeah. You can go to the recording section. Although
Okay.
we have just like discussed the basics, and we try to mug up the things which everyone should know and understand before starting any of the technology, right?
Okay.
So
You are Mr. Sukesh?
no, I'm Vikas.
Okay, Vikas. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So जो IPSO था, जो फर्स्ट जनरेशन फर्मवेयर था चेकपॉइंट का, it was developed by Nokia, and it was very old technology similar to Windows 95. All right. Then there was some bugs in IPSO which was like hampering the customers, right? So what they have done, they have upgraded their IPSO version. They have created a new firmware. बिल्कुल एक नया उन्होंने platform बनाया. Somebody is saying something. Okay. Raju, actually it's not total English batch. Basically it's a mix and match communication we have to do. Okay, so like I need to discuss with Gaurav that it's a English oriented batch or Hindi oriented batch. Guys, you guys tell me. We have 7 people here, so you guys are comfortable with Hindi or English or both?
Both, sir.
Both, sir.
Everyone?
I'm only comfortable with English because
English.
I don't know even single
Myself also English only.
Anyone who is not comfortable or maybe comfortable with Hindi only? Anyone?
Is okay with both, no problem.
Yes, sir. Okay with both. Anything.
Okay with both.
Because in a real world we are dealing with English. No need Hindi that much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a valid point. But you know, there are people who are like not very much familiar with the English and not comfortable basically.
Yeah, right.
Because,
That we can understand. So there
yeah.
is no problem with Hindi and English. It's okay. You can continue with both.
All right. So they have upgraded themselves. Like they have modified their platform. They introduced a Red Hat Linux, okay, and solved most of the IPSO's problem. Because whenever you create any platform, like let's say if you are cooking in your kitchen, right? So first time, if you cook a simple recipe, then there are like chances you will do a lot of bad things with that particular recipe, right? Maybe the salt you will give the salt like extra salt on that particular recipe or something. You will do a lot of things which is not required for that particular recipe, but still you will do it, right? So over the time, when you cook that recipe second time, third time, you'll improve yourself, right? So similarly, they have solved all the problem which were there in the IPSO, and they have created a whole new version of Checkpoint, the firmware of Checkpoint, which was called Splat. Okay, and that Splat, the advantage of that Splat was that it was built on Linux, Red Hat Linux. That was the advantage basically, and it was a quite stable version in comparison to IPSO, but it was a slower one. Okay, बहुत slow हुआ करता था. You have to navigate like if you, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see somewhere this Splat, but might be there are some organization, maybe 1% or 0.5% who are still having that Splat server. Then they you will be able to see it's a very slow server. You have to go like this. Like if you want to go from here to here, then your mouse will travel like this, very slowly. Wait, like this, you will go here. It was a very slow version basically. So like back in 2012, okay, this was the what to say, revolutionary year for Checkpoint, that they have come up with another version of firmware which was called 𝐊𝐤𝐳. What it's called? 𝐊𝐤𝐳. Okay, 𝐺𝐴IA. Now they have included all the feature set of IPSO and Splat in this 𝐊𝐤𝐳, Plus, they have mitigated whatever problems were there in Splat in this 𝐍𝐤 version. All right. So whatever problem was there in Splat, they have mitigated it. And they have come up with a new firmware with the feature set of ipso and the Splat, and they have named it as 𝐍𝐤, checkpoint 𝐍𝐤. And this was happened back in 2012. And additionally, they have introduced IPv6 in this 𝐍𝐤.
Gaia.
So from 2012 till date, we are having 𝐍𝐤 in the market when we talk about checkpoint. Although the firmware version has been changed, like initially back in 2012, we had R75.
Yeah. Now is R81.
Yeah. So post, like, still R75 was also a slower version. It was not very, fast device or advanced device, you can say. But the time they have tried, like, starting improving this version, they come up with R76, then R77. One moment, guys. Sorry, guys. So they come up with R76, and post which they come up with R77, and the R77, specifically R77.30, which was the most used version of checkpoint. Like, it got promoted all over the market because of this version. Basically, it was a very stable, very useful, very user-friendly version of the checkpoint. But now, because we have to change as per the industry and as per the time, now they have introduced a newer version of checkpoint, which is called R80. And currently, if I talk about like in this course, we will study R80, R80.10 will study in this particular course, but in the market it's R80.40, which is running in the market. Okay. Any doubt here? See, nobody will ask you. Hello, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
So see, nobody will ask you about the history of checkpoint in any of the interview, right? But it's good to know about the product you are going to learn, how
Right.
it evolved from the basic, from the scratch. Okay, The current running version, the stable version is running as R80.40, but we are going to learn R80.10, and there is no much difference. It's just we are in the lab, so we can learn R80.10. It's not going to crash in our lab scenario, but whereas in the network, when we used R80.10, sometimes we face some problem like crashing or hardware issue or something. But in lab, it's very stable, and there is no difference between R80 and R40 if we talk about the learning perspective.
Okay, so it's just an enhanced version. That's it. Nothing else.
Yes. The kernel processing and the processing in the background has been changed. The folder versions has been changed. The location of the folders in the background has been changed, but not a much difference between these both versions.
Yeah, but I think right now is a R81 for Gaia. Their
Yes.
current
R80,
update.
is it so?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I believe they call R80.10 as R81. I believe
Yeah, maybe. Not sure. But I see that
that's
in
my
my environment.
that's my understanding. When you in your environment, when you log into your smart dashboard, just try to see what is the firmware of your if there it's mentioned R81, then definitely it will be R81. But if it's mentioned like R80.10, so in the short form, I have seen people they call it as R81. R81. They what they mean to say. They try to say. Yeah, please go ahead.
If we, if it is R81, then can we actually level up with that
Yeah,
easily?
why not?
Yeah,
Why
it
not?
just
Why not?
it's just a simple bug fixing like
Yeah,
Apple iOS
see,
15 point something. Is not
yeah,
nothing is
see,
changing.
if I talk about R77.30 to R80.10, there is a drastic change of the GUI. Drastic change. Right? If you learn R77.30 and you'll start working with R80.10, you may face some problem because GUI is drastically changed. But if you have worked with R76 and you started working with R77, there is no problem of working over there. If you
Yeah.
have learned R80.1 and you started working on R80.40, there is no problem working in on that platform because GUI is there, concepts are same. It's just the bug fixing is being done, right?
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
We if we have taken the lab and we will have the access for a couple of months only. And for if we want to extend it and we want to practice it more, and if we want to create a virtual machine and install the ISO file, would you be helping on that little bit? How, because I
Yes.
tried once, but it failed. Reason saying that there's no space. I believe.
No space might be the hard disk issue or maybe the RAM issue. What was the configuration of your device?
It was actually, I have the bare metal device is actually 16 GB of RAM and 500 GB of hard disk.
So how much hard drive you have given to that particular VM? Because see, if you are installing R80 on your VM, you have to give at least 20 GB. So recommendation is always give 50 GB.
Yes.
Right. So if you have given less than 40 GB or 30 GB, they might give this error.
Do we can set up a lab in Mac iOS as well?
Yeah. But for Windows, I would say the software procuring the softwares are very easy in comparison to Mac because you cannot install pirated softwares on Mac, right?
Yeah.
Sure, sir. We can we can work on that. don't want to take much of your time.
Yeah, definitely. See, I'll try to give you a basic understanding of how to set up in VMware as well. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So till here everything is clear, right? I don't
Yep.
want to have any doubt in your mind, so that because next slide is very important, which is packet flow of the checkpoint. And if you'll not be able to understand this packet flow, you'll not be able to analyze the packets on the network when it will be coming to the firewall.
Sir, one more thing, sir. Sorry. Would you be giving this PPT to us, or shall we, create our own notes?
I think you have joined late, my brother.
Yes, sir. I did join late.
We have already discussed that you have to buy a notebook of 100 page. I'm repeating.
I heard that. I heard that. Sorry.
Heard that, right? Yeah. You have to divide it 70 and 30. On 70, you have to create your own notes. On 30, you have to write down the questions. I'll be teaching you. I'll be telling you that interview question, which question interviewer can ask related to that particular topic.
Sure, got it. Got it.
Right. And see, if you want my PPT, I can give you. Right. I don't have any issue. But do you think if you open my PPT, you will get this slide, you'll be able to understand anything with these points? But when you make your own notes, you'll be able to draw something as per your understanding, right? Might be like some people may write the first point and they will write the definition of this point. Some people may create arrows like this and like this. So when you create your own notes, it will be in your own language. Whereas these are pointers created by myself to teach you guys, right? These are not sufficient information.
Got it.
Right. Shalom. If everything is sorted, then I think we should choose red color and we are good to go. Okay. How many of you are still working with how many of you are still working with Checkpoint? Or maybe currently working with Checkpoint?
In my environment, we have Checkpoint, but I have only read-only access.
Okay, Dhanalakshmi is also working. Your name is?
Mohit.
Mohit is working. 2 people we have from the 8 people, is it so?
I have a very basic knowledge, sir.
No, I'm asking who is working with Checkpoint. So we have 2 people, right?
Yep.
Dhanalakshmi and Mohit. So Dhanalakshmi and Mohit, you will be going to like heard a lot of questions from my side. Okay. I'm not trying to demotivate you. I'm trying to make your concepts more stronger. Okay. I'll try to make that particular point. So do like Mohit and Dhanalakshmi, do you know what is the packet flow of Checkpoint?
See, so I learn on my self-study only. So in my current project only, I started to work in a Checkpoint. Okay, and start to deal with. So if I get some chain requests like just allowing some traffic or something means, so what I will do, so I'll check it in an log, like for particular source to destination, whether it's already allowed or not, like that I will check. So then I will check whether it's in particular rule or not. So even if there is no rule to it, it's still simple as logging in. Then again with help of log, I will analyze so particular source and destination where I can match near to the source, like that. I will analyze and I will put it. And I know some basics like creating the object and those things only. So since it's new to me and I started, that it's good to enroll in a course and I join here.
That's fine. That's a very good thing. But still the question remains same. Do you know the Checkpoint packet flow?
No.
No.
That's why we joined.
That's what the answer I was looking for. So if you don't know the packet flow, pay a very great attention to on this slide, okay? Because I'll be explaining a lot of things over here. This is my firewall, all right?
Right.
Okay, let's go to your let's go to paint. This PPT paint, this PPT pen is lagging actually. So let's go to paint. And I think you guys can see the paint screen, right?
Yeah, right.
All right. Okay. Packet flow checkpoint. The first thing, let's say, let's say this is a box. My drawing is getting worse day by day. Let's say this is the box. Okay. This is your checkpoint box. Okay. And this is inside. This is outside, right? With the term inside and outside means this part is your LAN, okay? This part
Is our way.
is your WAN. Clear?
Yep.
So the first thing checkpoint packet flow says is called SAM database. SAM stands for suspicious activity monitoring. Okay, SAM database, suspicious activity monitoring database. Okay, this is the first step of the checkpoint packet flow. What happens is whenever packet comes to the firewall, it will hit on this particular interface, right? Or maybe on this particular interface, right? Make sense? The
Yeah.
packet is coming, let's say outside, it will hit this particular interface of the checkpoint.
Yeah.
And if it's coming from the inside, it will hit this particular interface of the checkpoint. This is the inside interface. This is the outside interface. Now, maybe the scenario is you have got a DDoS attack. Or maybe not DDoS, a DOS attack. In that case, let's say this DOS attack is coming from outside, for an example, okay? So let's say this DDoS attack is coming from outside. So you will be getting 1,000 of packet on this particular interface in 1 second. 1,000 or maybe a 10,000 packet on this particular interface. All right. Now, for an example, let's say you have observed that all the hits which are hitting or maybe 10.20.10. This is the source IP from where the number of packets are coming, and they are trying to get in touch with your server in DMZ. Let's say you have another interface here, and this particular area is your DMZ. Okay, here your servers are placed. So you have seen that number of packets are coming on this particular interface, and they are coming with this particular source IP. Okay, so what all options you have to block this traffic? First thing, that you go to your rule set policy base. On the top of your policy base, you create that source, this IP 10.10.source 10.10.20.10 destination any, and action is block, right? Dhanashmi, you can do this thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But can you tell me what is the problem with this this process? The problem is you are getting thousands of packet, right? A 10,000 of packet in 1 second, right? You have created source this, destination is this, and action is blocked. You did the right thing, but don't you think that if 1,000 or 10,000 packets are coming and my policy which I have created is blocking that communication, isn't that traffic is entering to my firewall from this interface? Isn't it going to the policy base and then it is getting dropped? Don't you think that thing? Now, if you go to the this packet flow, if I talk about the policy section, policy comes here. If you have created a policy, right, on the firewall to drop that particular connection, so you are passing SAM database, anti-spoofing, session lookup, anyhow, your firewall is still processing the traffic which you intended to block initially. Right? What you intended कि मेरे पास यहाँ पे you are getting 10,000 packet in a 1 second, and you intended to block that communication from that particular source. You created a policy, which is a correct approach. But don't you think that firewall is still processing that particular traffic?
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that traffic, that packets are still being processed by the firewall, which can increase the memory, the utilization of the firewall?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Right. So what is the better approach? The better approach is SAM database. Okay. What is the better approach? The better approach is SAM database. What is the SAM database? SAM database is similar to the policy. Okay. SAM database is similar to policy. There also you will write source 10.10.20.10 destination any action block. So this SAM database lookup will happen first thing when the packet will hit the interface. So the first thing the firewall will check this particular SAM database. If the entry is there, that particular packet will be dropped here itself. It will not be entered to the firewall.
Yes.
Okay. I tried to give you a real scenario so that this thing makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, right. It is.
Right. So now what is happening? Maybe let's forget about this 10,000. Let's consider 1 lakh. right? Maybe 1 lakh packet is coming in 1 second. What is the use? Maybe 10 lakh packet is coming on the in 1 second on that particular interface. We have SAM database rule applied. The first thing will be checked at the SAM database, and maybe a 10 lakh or lakh packet will be coming. They all will be discarded on this level from here. They will not be able to enter our firewall. It's like the watchman of your building. Okay. How many people we have here who resides in societies, builder societies? How many of you stays there?
Okay.
Do we have someone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 2 people. So in your society, a number of watchmen may inspect, do the inspection of the person on the entry gate of your building, not building, the society, in the entry gate of your society, right?
Yeah.
And when that person will pass the society inspection, the person will come to your building, and in the building also there is one watchman who will inspect that person, who will call you directly and say that, ma'am or sir, you are expecting that person. And if you say yes, then only he will allow that person to come to your house. So this society, entry, if the person will not be able to inspect himself, he'll not be able to enter the society even. We are not talking about the building. We are talking about the society itself. Right? Makes sense or not?
Yeah, makes sense.
So this is the first level security. This is the second level security. So when we talk about the entrance of society, that is called SAM database in checkpoint. The first level security. When we talk about the policy, that is the second level security. All right.
Yes, sir.
If this is clear, we can move to the next point. But if you have any question, any doubt, just let me know, because this is the pet question of any interviewer whenever you'll go for a level 1 or level 1 plus engineer for the position of level 1 or level 1 plus engineer. So this is the pet question of the interviewer. If you have any doubt, tell me right now.
Sir, I just have, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my question here is that external interface, which is hitting many packets like 10,000 or something, but that particular interface will be congested, right? So
yes,
how can we mitigate that?
No, you cannot do that.
Okay.
You have to contact your ISP for that.
Okay.
That, man, on your ISP interface, I'm getting DDoS attack. For the time being, I have created a SAM database. Please check your connection. ISP will immediately log up priority 1 ticket on the basis of your information, and they will try to mitigate that problem on behalf of you. It's not your responsibility. It's your ISP's
ISP boundary. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I had, could be a dumb question maybe, but
no issues. Go ahead.
When traffic is attacking that, if you're getting 1 lakh, packets hitting to our interface, so will we have that much time to identify the IP address and create a rule?
Yeah. See, you have to have the time to identify. Otherwise, how you'll be able to mitigate?
Sometimes, when this kind of things happens, the device is not accessible.
Let me tell you one thing. It's a very dumb scenario, right? If I talk about this particular scenario, it's a very dumb scenario, right? Because here you might have a SIM tool also, which is before your firewall, right?
Right.
What they'll be doing, they will be monitoring such traffic.
Yes.
And after like
ISP doing that?
no sim, yeah, maybe ISPs will also be doing that, and your internal organization will also be doing that, right? अब यहाँ पे let's say your internal like organization's SOC team is sitting and they have SIM tool integrated over here, right? And after that ISP boundary is there. So to coming to this particular interface, the packet has to pass a lot of things, and if they are still coming over here, you have to analyze. You have see, if these packets are coming, let's say for an example, it's coming for this particular server, right? This one. And let's say it's coming for this source IP, and it's coming for 192.168.1.1. All right, makes sense. So let's say firewall is allowing it. Let's say for an example. Now, someone is doing something. Dhanalakshmi. So let's say for an example, firewall is allowing this communication. Let me change my pen. Okay. Firewall is allowing this communication, which is coming from this particular host to this particular host, which is this server. Okay. Firewall is passing this traffic, and traffic is coming to the firewall. Now the DMG person is coming to you that say, hey, Vikas, hey, listen to me, brother, that I'm getting a number of traffic from this particular IP. I can see on the logs, and they're trying to get the admin access of this particular server. Now you have to block this traffic. So there is two ways of blocking. First, the policy, you can create a policy. Second, you can block in the SAM database. So which is the preferred way? The SAM database. Right. So what you are doing, you are blocking which the traffic which was coming earlier to your server, you are blocking that traffic particularly on this particular interface. Now, after blocking over here, raise a traffic, raise a case to your SOC if it exists, raise a case to your ISP if the SOC is not in the picture. If both are in the picture, raise the case to both of them. And that those cases will be raised by this person, the server guy. Any doubt?
No, sir. Thank you.
So the server guy just let us know there is a one DOS attack, and then we identify the IP and block it by the SAM database.
No. Let's see if like let's say this was the scenario when the traffic was passing. Okay. Let's say the traffic is not getting passed and traffic is getting dropped over here. So in that case, what will happen? This interface will show some errors to you. That like when you go to the monitoring, it will show you that it has discarded 10 lakh of packet, right? So in that case, from this particular log that this interface has discarded this much of packet in one day or maybe in 1 hour, immediately you have to take action. You have to raise that case to your ISP. Okay, if the similar thing is happening on this particular interface, the inside interface, you have to immediately call your SOC or maybe endpoint security, and they have to give the antivirus manual call. They have to scan all the network. Maybe they will ask you to block this interface or disconnect this interface.
Yeah, best way to disconnect that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think last week we have one attack in Spain. Ransomware, so we disconnect the PC immediately.
Clear? Any doubt?
No, sir.
All clear?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a doubt.
Yes,
so similar like confidence
Bhagyalakshmi, I'm expecting a lot of doubt from your side because you're already working in the environment.
Okay.
Okay, if you're not asking something, that means I'm expecting that you are not able to understand the concept.
Yeah, that's it. What I want to ask is like I understood one thing is like with the help of SAM database, we can avoid. So we can like the DOS attack those kind of attacks can be controlled by using SAM database, I understood. But by like we are conferring the rules of policy, no? For conferring the rules in SAM database, can we do it through GUI, or we need to do it in the field?
Yes,
GUI.
yes, you can do it with the GUI.
Okay. So
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you, when you do the lab, right?
Okay.
In the lab, the first thing I'll tell you, that is SAM database.
Okay.
How to create it.
So SAM database, so we can add a lot of suspicious IPs or something also, we can include it in the SAM database, right?
Yes. But see, the problem of the SAM database is that you cannot increase the buffer side. You cannot add millions of IP on the SAM database. No, you cannot do that. It's purely designed for the DOS attack type of situation. The traffic is coming, the attack is coming. You have blocked the particular traffic on that interface. You have raised a complaint with your ISP or maybe your SOC team. They have mitigated the problem. Now you have to delete that entry from the SAM database.
Okay.
Otherwise,
So we
whenever
have a limited bandwidth for the SAM database as well.
let's take an example. You have created a SAM database. Here you have having 10,000 of entry, right? On the interface level. Right. So whenever the traffic is coming from this part on this particular interface, what it is doing, it is checking SAM database, means it is checking 10,000 of entries one by one. So what you are creating a delay in the packet processing. Maybe 1 ms, and 1 ms is used, right?
For first action in that time, we need to create SAM database.
Yes, it's an immediate.
Then we immediately reach out to your ISP and
ISP. Yeah. It's an immediate mitigation, immediately relief. Have you ever gone to hospital for any sort of pain? What the doctors do? They immediate will give you the painkiller.
Yeah, right.
Right. Let's say you have ulcers in your stomach and you are having very heavy pain in your stomach. You reach to hospital, the doctor will not check whether you have ulcer, whether you have constipation, whether you have acidity. They will not check. What they will do, they will give you immediately a painkiller. Right?
Get a relief. Yeah, right.
If you, the moment your pain get relieved, you got the pain relief, then they will move ahead and they will do the checks.
Diagnose and other things.
Diagnosis, yeah. Do you have ulcers? You had acidity or something wrong with your stomach? You have eaten something wrong. You have got a food poisoning, right? So this is the immediate remediation, like painkiller. Clear? Any other doubt? It's a very important question. I'm again repeating. Okay. If no doubt is there, let me move to another point. This was the first. This was the first point. Second one is. So I think. this thing is clear, right?
Yeah, right.
After the SAM database, the second point is anti-spoofing. Okay. What is anti-spoofing? Anti-spoofing. What is anti-spoofing? Any idea, 𝐊𝐲𝐬 or Mohit? Your name is Mohit, right?
Yeah, right.
Mohit and 𝐊𝐲𝐬. Any idea?
No. And
no
I'm
idea so
not
far.
Dhanlakshmi. I'm not a 𝐊𝐲𝐬. You can call me Dan also. Fine.
I'm really sorry.
It's not an issue.
Okay.
You can call me Dana also, not an issue.
Dana. Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah, Dana. So any idea, Mohit?
No, actually.
No.
I recently get access. That's why I want to
No worries.
know everything.
No worries. That's why I'm here, no? To tell you the idea. Okay. Now listen to me very carefully again. Okay. Let me make a whole new diagram here. It's a messy diagram. This is your firewall. Okay, the checkpoint one. And let's say, okay, let's say this is your inside, this is your outside. All right. Let's say you have given IP address. This is your inside interface. Okay. Whenever I make a diagram, left side will always be the inside and right side always be the outside.
Okay.
Okay. And in the lab also we'll follow this practice. Let's say you have given this interface an IP of 192.168.1.1/24. All right. And you have given an IP address of this outside interface 199.199.1.1/30. This is the customer end. I'm assuming that ISP is connected on this particular port. This is the customer end, so it is having 1, and the provider end will be 1.2. Okay. Any doubt?
No.
Now, let's suppose checkpoint says if the traffic is coming on this particular interface, do you guys think that the packet which is hitting this particular interface, it should have the IP address of this range?
No, sir.
Or let's say we have a DMZ and DMZ is having the IP of 10.10.1.1. Do you think the packet which is coming on this particular interface, it should have the source IP address of this range?
No, sir.
No.
It should have the source IP of public IP, right? Public range,
Correct.
any public
Yes,
range.
sir. Yes, sir.
Now just open your minds, close your eyes, and understand. If the traffic is hitting on the inside interface, which one is the inside interface? The left side interface. Okay.
Right.
In our diagram,
Yes.
just close your eyes and try to imagine. Let's say if the traffic is coming on your left side interface, which is inside interface, should it have the source IP as the public IP?
No, sir.
Again, think. Is it possible to have the source IP of the inside interface as the public IP?
No, never.
No,
Netting
no.
is done, I believe, sir.
Netting concept will come.
Netting.
Netting happens on the firewall, bro, not on the inside.
I think virtual VM, something like that.
Virtual VM?
Sir, can you
that
please
we are
repeat the
using.
question again?
I'm just asking a simple question. If the traffic is coming on the left side interface of the firewall, which is inside interface, is it possible to have the source IP of that packet as a public IP?
No, sir, it's not possible
No, sir.
because
Not possible.
no,
No.
Not possible, right?
not possible.
No, possible.
And let's say if something is coming with that scenario, if a packet is coming on the inside interface and the left side interface, and it's having the source IP as the public IP.
That means there's something fishy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this particular scenario, that whatever the packet is coming on, whatever the interface is, the source should be legitimate.
Right. Okay.
Remember the word legitimate. Checkpoint has used this word legitimacy. Legitimate means correct, actual source. So this particular check, that if the traffic is coming on my inside or outside or DMZ interface, whether the source of the packet is correct or not. This will be checked by anti-spoofing.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So if I am getting a hit on my outside interface and the packet source is 192.168.1.1 or maybe 10 or maybe 100, that packet will be discarded immediately on the interface level, and you will get a log which will be anti-spoofing. Okay. Yes, please. Are you guys able to relate the things or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Is it clear to you?
Yes, yes.
If it's clear, so I'm assuming that this point is also been completed, right?
Yes.
Any doubt in anti-spoofing? Because it's the, see, in interview, 70% chances are there they might ask about the SAM database, but 95% chances are there they will ask about the anti-spoofing. So if you have any question, any doubt, just clear it out. Maybe it's a dumb question, you think.
Yeah, so anti-spoofing is a future or something which is in a checkpoint. So that will inspect like whether it's an legitimate one or not. Am I right?
It will check the source is legitimate or not.
Okay.
Only the source, not the packet. It
Yeah.
will check whether the traffic from where which is coming, it will check it's a legitimate source or not.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Sir, one more question, sir. How exactly the is it depends upon our configuration that it will identify that particular source which is coming is not legitimate?
Yes, it's your configuration, right? You have assigned this IP address on this interface, right? You have assigned this IP address on this DMG interface, right? You have assigned this particular public IP on this interface. You have given this interface as an outside interface, right?
Okay, that means, for example, I have assigned 192.168.1.1/24. Any IP coming from this this subnet, then it will be allowed, and anything which is coming out of this subnet will be dropped.
Exactly. That's why we have given this IP address range on this interface, right? That's what the purpose is, right? If apart from this 192.168, 10 series subnet will come over here, it will be dropped.
Right.
It's not the correct interface through which this DMG traffic should go there.
Right. So anti-spoofing is by default it is there, or do we need to enable it?
You have to enable it. You have to enable it. I will tell you how to enable it, when to enable it.
Sure.
For now, just tell me if you have any question in the concept of anti-spoofing.
No, sir. It's clear.
I think these 2 points are 100% clear to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Right? If these 2 things are clear, then rest of the things will be cleared very easily. How? The third point is session lookup. Okay. Let me just do a cleanup. Another thing is session lookup. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dhana and Mohit, have you heard this term, which is called stateful inspection? Have you heard this term?
Yeah, I heard it, but I am not clear in this concept.
Okay, you heard
When
it.
I when I try to do self-study many times, so like checkpoint is the first technology who tell about the stateful inspection.
Yes, they have
And they are
developed
this thing, and they are getting royalty for this from
yes,
everyone.
yes, they have developed this concept. They have the patented technology for stateful inspection. Okay. So why I have included this thing? You know, firewall maintains a connection table or state table, you can say. Okay. What the information they have in this state table? The source IP, the destination IP, the source port, the destination port, and the direction.
Inside or out, like.
Okay. A table will be maintained like this. Sorry. Okay. So when the traffic will come, SAN database has been passed, anti-spoofing has been passed. The third lookup will be session lookup. Session lookup means that is there any entry in the session table from this source to this destination we have, right? Let's say my source is 192.168.1.100, all right? And the destination is 199.199.1.200. So firewall will check, do I have any existing session between this source and this destination, which is already there in my connection table or maybe session table? If so, the answer for this question, like, do I have the entry for this source and destination in my connection table? Answer to this question will be
Session.
either yes or no.
Yeah.
No, presently there is no entry in session table. If it is there, means it won't check it. It will pass the traffic, I think.
Yes. So if the answer is yes, it will use that connection and pass the traffic. If no, it will move to the next step.
Stateful table, create, enter here.
Right? That, what is the next step? Session lookup. Answer is yes or no, right? Yes means pass the traffic, no means pass the next step. What is the next step? Policy lookup means, do I have any policy for this source and this destination in my policy base to allow or maybe deny the traffic? So here also we'll be having two answers.
Yes.
Yes and no. Yes will be having to allow, deny. If the packet is having like traffic, like a source and destination is having one rule, then it will allow and deny on the basis of source and destination, on the basis of the policy we have created. And if there is no policy, then by default it will be dropped. Because in the last section, or maybe last policy in the policy base, we create from any to any deny. If we have 10,000 policy in the firewall and will create 10,001 policy as any deny. Why? We are telling the firewall that if the traffic is coming from the source and destination, you match these 10,000 firewall policies in the policy section. If nothing get matched, then drop the traffic on this particular rule and create a log for this. So if we have 10,000 policies and not a single policy is getting matched with this source and destination, then it will be dropped in this any, and you'll be getting a log. So whenever someone is saying that my traffic is not working from this source and destination, you just go to the log, just enter source and destination and check whether it's allowed or not. If it's allowed, then say it's allowed, man, from our side. Check your destination, maybe it's source. And if it's getting dropped, also in the cleanup rule, in the last rule of the policy section, just mention that it's a new requirement. You need to have a change request for this. Make sense or not?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Any doubt?
No.
No.
If this thing is clear, then the next point we'll having is the destination NAT. Okay, policy lookup is being done. We have a policy for this, okay? And that to allow one, it says the policy that from the source and from the destination, from the source to the destination, policy is allowed, post which it will check destination NAT. Like for this destination, do I have any NAT policy? And this particular step will be followed when the traffic will be coming from the outside. Because whenever traffic is going from inside to outside, we never perform the destination NAT. Okay. Have you ever heard that Dhana wants to go Google and you have created a destination NAT for Google?
No,
Have you heard? Never.
No.
Like any.
Not for Google, while I'm working in load balancer. So what they consider in checkpoint is like, okay, they have a primary and secondary ISP. So they configure the NAT in destination NAT with primary ISP with some public NAT IP dimension. So what are the traffic? Just start from like say like when traffic when inside to so some people want to access the internet. So first that will go to the perimeter checkpoint firewall, and if it is related to internet, that will check it in a NAT. So in NAT they configure the public IP, then it will go to the load balancer. Then if the primary ISP is down, then what will happen? Then it load balances secondary ISP and reach the internet. Even it come back till load balancer again. The firewall must know only the NAT IP of primary ISP, not in a secondary ISP. The link load balancer will change the mechanism to, change the mechanism to primary IP, then only the traffic will be. So in those concepts only I came to know about NAT.
So there you are doing NAT for that link load balancer, or you are doing the routing for that. Next hop should be link load balancer, right?
No, but the firewall doesn't know about the secondary link.
So there must be a virtual IP, right?
They put an NAT only with some IP that points only to the primary ISP. Even if the primary ISP is down, the load balancer is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So there, again, if the traffic is going outside, you are not doing the destination NAT anyway. Still, see
Source
what you are saying. What you are saying. Okay. What Dhana is saying, that this is my perimeter firewall, and with the firewall we have LC, right? On LC we have two link. So firewall does not know the IP of the secondary one. It knows only the primary one, right, Dhana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the firewall is sending the traffic to LC, and LC is not sending it to the primary. It's checking which one is the active one, and then it's sending to this one, or maybe that one, right? This is what you are trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in any case, when the traffic is going to the outside world, see, this LC is still your part, your LAN part, right? It's not a WAN part. When traffic is going outside to your WAN, you are not doing the destination NAT, right? You're not changing the Google IP, right?
Yeah, I'm not changing Google IP.
So destination NAT comes into the picture when the traffic comes from outside to inside. Okay. Is it clear or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's clear, then the next thing comes into the picture, which is a route lookup. Route lookup means we have changed the destination NAT. Let's say for time being, let's suppose the traffic is coming from outside to inside, okay? And the traffic is for our internal server. For an example, just imagine this thing. The traffic is coming from outside to the inside DMZ here. This is my DMZ interface, and this is my DMZ server. Let's say it's coming here. So this DMZ server must be hosted on the internet, and it must be having a static NAT with a public IP, let's say 199.199.20.300, let's say, okay? 300 never comes in the picture, 155, let's say, okay? Let's say this is my public IP for this particular server, and this particular server is having the private IP 10.10.1.200. Okay. So let's say traffic is coming from outside. Policy lookup has been done. The traffic is allowed on the policy. Now destination NAT will be performed, that this public IP will be changed to this private IP in the NAT policy, right? And from when this IP will be changed, the firewall will look for the route for this subnet, that on which particular interface I have to send this particular subnet. So it will check the route lookup for this particular subnet, and it will do the lookup only. It will not send the traffic. It will check the lookup, and it will forward to the next step. Does this thing make sense or not? This relation of destination NAT.
But in enterprise scenario, sir, usually private IP will be NATed with one single IP address, and outside world can view only public NAT IP.
So that's what I'm saying, right? This is the
that is
public.
a source NAT, but when you are saying the destination NAT, when the traffic is coming from outside to inside, so that will be NATed with the private IP again, right? So I would like to understand that when we do the source NATing, when we do the destination NATing.
That's what I'm coming. That's what I'm coming.
Okay.
Now, for the time being, just tell me, this thing is clear or not? The
yes,
traffic
this is clear.
The traffic is coming from the web for my internal server. Okay. And the internal server is having one-to-one NAT, static NAT is being given. The public IP is this one, private IP is this one. Firewall has checked the policy is there. Then it has checked the NAT policy. In the NAT policy, they have converted this IP to this IP.
Yes.
And then the firewall will check the route for this one, this subnet.
Yeah.
On which interface I have to forward this. Now it has the interface, the DMZ interface on which it has to forward the traffic. Is it clear?
Yeah. Yes, sure.
Dana?
Yeah.
If this thing is clear, see, this thing was for the incoming traffic, which is coming to my firewall, which is coming to my internal LAN, which is coming to my DMZ. Okay. Now, somebody has asked me when to perform source NAT. After this route lookup, the source NAT will be performed.
Okay.
So for the source NAT, there will be two scenarios for outgoing traffic and for incoming traffic. Sometimes what organizations do, see, the traffic which is coming on the outside interface, it was having the destination IP 192.199.199.20.155, right? It must be having some source IP also, right?
Yeah, right.
169.1.1.20, let's say, right? And so now some organizations say that when I am performing the destination NAT for the incoming traffic and I'm converting it to my private IP, and the private IP belongs to my DMZ zone of my GMZ server. So for security purpose, I want to do the source NAT also. I don't want my server to know who is this source. In that particular scenario, we'll be having the source IP, number one. Okay, this was the number one scenario. Second scenario, this was the incoming traffic, right? Second scenario, outgoing traffic. Whenever, let's say this is the firewall, right? Let's say here, Mohit is setting, right? Mohit is there. Mohit is sitting over here. Mohit, what he is doing, he is trying to reach google.com. The traffic will hit the firewall. Now on the firewall, what we define, whenever my internal user wants to go to the outside wall, it should never take the private IP.
Correct.
Because private IP is not routable on the internet.
Routable on the internet, yes.
So what we create a NAT for the internal LAN that it will take this particular interface IP for the internal. And if the like DMZ server wants to go to the outside, then maybe we can do a static NAT one-to-one. See, these things now just try to mug up. These things will be more understandable when we'll cover the netting part.
Yeah, right.
Right. This source NAT, destination NAT, hide NAT, these terminology will be covered over there. Just for now, just try to understand source NAT. We have two things to check. And if I talk about this particular scenario, the incoming traffic, this will be very less, maybe 1% only. This scenario, the outgoing scenario will be 100%.
100%, yeah.
All the internal users will be going to the outside world, and they will be taking this particular interface
NAT IP address
to communicate to the internet.
External.
Is it clear till here or not? Any question, any sort of question? Dhana and Mohit.
No.
Yes, sir. Can you explain about this house NAT once again, especially for playing, because I have to revise the NAT once again. So I feel like I'm not able to get it very fastly. So even the notepad is very much not a clear one. So I feel like I'm not able to get it with you.
One moment, 1 moment. All right. Sorry, guys. It was a long hold, actually. I'm really sorry for that. Okay, so tell me one thing. Are you guys comfortable to continue, or you want me to stop today? This much now, and we'll try to resume from here tomorrow. What do you think?
Resume tomorrow.
It's better to complete it, even we have some queries by go to the recording session. We can ask more doubts actually.
Yeah, like till the net we can till the source net we can complete. So I think Adhana, you were asking like about the source net. So for now, just forget about the outgoing. Just think about the I forget about the incoming. Just remember the outgoing part. Okay, that source net is mainly used whenever any of the user on the server wants to go to the outside world. Then we perform the source net, because our internal IPs, the private IPs, are not routable on the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
So source net may be a single IP or maybe a specific range of IPs, right? It may be a small pool also. It maybe not be a single IP address.
In the firewall domain, it's only a single IP for the source. When you discuss the load balancers and everything, then it becomes the pool. But in the firewall, it's only a single IP.
Okay. Got it.
Any other doubt?
No, sir. As of now, no doubt. We can continue tomorrow if we have to stop here. No problem.
See, I can continue. I can continue 1 more hour. It will be problematic for you guys. Maybe if any case like this recording will not be uploaded to your student section, then it will be a problem for you guys. Otherwise, till here, I think you guys can recall also if you go to the packet flow of the checkpoint.
Okay.
So I think we can stop here, right?
Yeah, right. Too
All
much
right.
information for
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, I think we have covered 2 hours till now. So from tomorrow we'll start at 9:30 sharp. So we'll have the session till 9:30 to 11:30 or maybe till 11. And if like you guys will be comfortable, we can go till 12, like 2.5 hours of session. It will help you guys to cover the course in a very short period of time, maybe a month or maybe in 1.5 months, this course will be completed of the CCSA I'm talking about.
Sir, if you allow, can we do like this? From 9:30 to 11:30, we can continue course, and from 11:30 to 12 o'clock, we can discuss any doubts or clarify the concept.
It will not make sense actually. It will not make sense actually. So
Okay.
What is the best practice? You are like, for example, now, like say, if I'll complete the packet flow from 9:30 to 11:30, and then I'll ask that we have 30 minutes, come with your doubts. So might be you will ask the doubt from the SAM database. So what I have to do, I have to explain the SAM database again. Right. So the best way is that I have completed the SAM database. I have gone through with the doubts. Tomorrow, when we'll start the session, I'll give you guys 15 minutes, initial 15 minutes to, write down or maybe list your doubts. Then we'll discuss the doubt and then we'll move forward.
Agreed. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, that will be our approach. So I think we are good for today. We'll meet tomorrow at 9:30 sharp. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
And again, like this is not the English batch. Actually, I'll ask Gaurav. He will get in touch with you guys. If you will say that yes, you want the training in English. I do not have any issues in giving the training in English, but maybe someone is there who is not very keen on learning the concepts in the English. So maybe they have enrolled for the Hindi. I'm not sure that how to move forward, but I'll ask Gaurav about it. He will confirm me, and tomorrow, if he say that the session should be in English, we'll continue this course in English only. Okay.
Okay.
So if it is a Hindi, then you will be continue with the Hindi only, right, sir? We have
Yes,
to look
yes,
for an
yes.
alternate option.
Yes.
You
See,
can provide
we have simultaneous batches, okay, for Hindi and for English. So if
Okay.
this batch is for Hindi one, then we'll continue with Hindi, and you guys will be moved to the another batch, or maybe our a new batch will be scheduled to with me for the English students. And if it will be English, so will not be having an issue.
Okay.
And if
Got it, sir.
no communication will be granted to you guys, you have to join at 9:30 sharp. Be assured.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. If there will be any change in the batch timing, I think Dhana, you are having very high volume in the background. Yeah. So if there will not be any communication for the timings or anything, then you have to join at 9:30. Yes, Dhana, you are raising hand.
Sorry, it was fan sound. I forgot to put it in mute. Sorry.
Yeah, you had some doubt?
No.
Okay. All right, then I think we are good to close this session. Thank you everyone for joining this session. We'll meet you tomorrow at 9:30, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a
thank you.
good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.